Hello Smug Peeps, K-Man of Smugface Entertainment here, and this is episode 4 of Smugface Commentaries. And today's episode I'll be going back into the archives with the real Ghostbusters. This is season 1, episode 6, the Bogeyman Cometh, one of the more infamous villains in the Ghostbusters Rogue Gallery. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get straight into the show. Alright, here we are, the Bogeyman Cometh. A bit loud there. Written by Michael Reeves. Just the volume here. Alright, so we open to the Ghostbusters on duty, it seems. The animation in this it's very 80s, but it's one of those, it's old, but I think it still holds up a little bit, even though you can tell it's quite old. I'm trying to imagine a show like this with the animation that we're seeing nowadays with X-Men 97, or even back in the 90s with Gargoyles, or the X-Men 90 show, Batman the Animated Series. That would have really been the icing on the cake on what was actually a very good series. Well, certainly the first 4 before the final seasons just became very watered down, and it wasn't quite the same because there was a lot of changes that were forced upon the creators of the show. I mean, that's a whole other topic for another discussion. Anyway, we are opening up to the Ghostbusters chasing what looks like a mobster ghost, and he just tried to scare them with his little... Well, I'm just gone completely blank there. I don't know why I'm blanking out on this. But anyway, you saw the picture right there. It's a very scary looking monster. The thing about this show was, it's incredible, how... It was a kid show, but it was quite scary at times with the way they did the ghosts and everything. I mean, this is one of the more memorable episodes because it's the Boogeyman. For years as a young kid, I would always hear about, it's the Boogeyman, he's coming to get you, blah blah blah, he hides under your bed. So they did a good job of bringing that onto this episode. We haven't even reached that bit yet, so I'm gonna be talking quite a little bit of waffle as I try to go along. Anyway, the Ghostbusters are getting ready to go to bed. I think this is where the fun starts, I think. And Peter gets slimed as usual by Slimer, because Slimer is just constantly giving him a hard time. It's funny because it's as a kid, you loved Slimer, but as an adult, you're thinking, well, you understand why Venkman didn't like him. It was so annoying. Always eating his food, always getting him slimed. He always seemed to target him in particular. It wasn't so much the others. I know Ray saw him more as a pet, whereas Pete saw him more as a pest. Yeah. Anyway, here we are. We are now... He's getting ready to scare Slimer with... looks like is that a trap or something? I have to say, this episode of the Boogeyman Cometh, I think I've only watched it properly like 2-3 times. It's funny, as a kid, I watched a handful of Ghostbusters episodes which have stuck like a magnet. So I remember them almost word for word, and then there are other episodes that I didn't watch. I've had to watch as I've gotten older. They haven't quite stuck the same way, but yeah. The Ghostbusters as a whole, this was an excellent 80s show, I think. When you watch it back, the first few seasons, they weren't strictly kids cartoons, because they could at times get really serious and dark and edgy, and then other times they can be very funny. So kind of like the movie, where the movie could be very scary at times, and then Other times it was very comical, because it's a kid show, it's a cartoon show. But I think what they were trying to do is what happened with later shows that came about in the 90s, specifically a show like Batman the Animated Series, where it was an animated show, but it was more of a prime time show. It wasn't necessarily aimed at kids, it was just an animated show which kids happened to enjoy. So I think that might have been the case with Ghostbusters here, but because it was the 80s, they were quite handcuffed in what they could and they couldn't do. So there was a lot of reasons why the later seasons weren't as good as what's it called, as the earlier seasons. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'm just really talking here. What I probably should have done, and I said this on my last commentary, was do a watch through of the episode just so that it's fresh in memory. But I'm literally just going off the cuff here, so I'm just reacting as I'm talking. So here we have the Ghostbusters are responding to a kid's call where the Boogeyman is apparently after them. And of course, they don't necessarily believe it, but everyone except Egon. Egon has history with the Boogeyman, I think. Yeah. Just trying to adjust the volume here so it's not too loud and overpowering. Yeah. Yeah, there's the kiddies all scared, and then they're getting ready. Ghostbusters are getting ready to go after the Boogeyman, and actually, there's nothing there initially, so the kids are insisting, no, there is a boogeyman, but they're making fun of them now, it seems. Now, and here comes the bit where the boogeyman does come out, and it's one of the more, I shouldn't say scary, but more edgier episodes. Just the way they drew the dream, it's very scary looking. That's what the animated show did quite well. It was very good at producing these very outlandish and very disturbingly, freakishly looking ghosts and goblins. So I just wonder what it would have been like if they'd actually imported this for the movie. In fact, can you imagine if they actually did a Ghostbusters 3 with the original cast and the Boogeyman was the main villain? The other Ghostbusters are trying to push him back into the closet, but he wins them. So he beats them on this occasion before he crawls back in himself. So now the kids are like, "Do you believe us now?" And Pete's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Like I said, Egon had a history with the Boogeyman. Yeah. Oh, but Egon is insistent that they go after the Boogeyman because, it's dangerous. And here come the parents. And the parents, of course, don't believe the Ghostbusters or the kids that they saw the Boogeyman. Because everyone hears the Boogeyman and think, oh, that's just a kid's tall tale. And the Ghostbusters are trying to convince the parents, but of course the parents don't believe them. One of the things that they did with the animated show was they tried to incorporate some of the humor that we saw in the movie into the episodes, so it feels very almost like the cartoon and the movie are in sort of the same universe, kind of, not quite, because obviously there's the missing Dana Barrett and Louis Tully. It's an excellent depiction, or follow-up rather, from the movie, the way they've incorporated it into the cartoon. So, yeah, they've gone back to headquarters now, and they're discussing about the Boogeyman, that he's not actually a ghost, but more of a manifestation of children's fear. So Egon's telling the kids, telling the guys, the Ghostbusters, about how he would have issues with the Boogeyman when he was a kid. So, I should probably mention as well that the Boogeyman is voiced by the exact same person who's voicing Ray Stantz, which is the legendary voice god Frank Welker. And Welker's an absolute legend. Probably the most prolific, most successful voice actor of all time. I think he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Yeah, so he does a good job of depicting the Boogeyman here. I mean, he was any cartoon that you can think of. especially during the 80s. If there was a cartoon, you can bet your money Frank Welker was in it. The man of a million or a thousand voices. You know, just absolute legend. And the way he depicted the boogeyman here was quite scary. Well, as a kid, anyway. Anyway, we are back to the kids' closet, and yep, the boogeyman is about to go after them yet again. First of all, the parents are just so irresponsible. The kids are saying, "Oh, it's the boogeyman," and here he comes. Oh, this bit is really freakish. The way he pops his head out. Oh, for goodness gracious. This episode, I can remember watching it with a bunch of other kids, and it was quite scary. I think I must have been about 8, 10 years old. I think I must have been watching it behind what's it called, a pillow. Anyway, they've just done an ad. You know that ad where they do the we're going on break now. We'll be back after these messages. It was infamous in the States. Anyway, we return back, and Boogeyman is absolutely terrorizing the young kids, and the Ghostbusters arrive on the scene. Funny, he's not a ghost as they said, but more of a manifestation of the kid's fear, and he gets shot once and then he runs back to the closet where he came from. Oh, it was just Winston. Oh, it was just Winston. I didn't notice that bit. Just Winston on his own. And they're saying thank you for saving us. There you go. But these commentaries, as I've said before, they're quite hard to do when it's just you. That's why we really wish I had something to bounce off of. I mean, I'm trying to work on that to get somebody to come and do an episode of a TV show with me. Yeah. So they're talking about the boogeyman and how they're going to have to defeat him, and it's not going to be as easy as getting their proton pack, shooting him, and trapping him in the ghost trap, because he's a completely different type of being. Not quite your standard ghost where you trap and catch and put into the containment unit. Yeah, I probably should have done some scouting ahead and just watched it just so it's fresh in my memory, because as it is, this is one of those episodes that I remember, but I don't remember it from start to finish, because growing up I would get a handful of VHS tapes of episodes of this show and other shows, and because I'd watch them over and over again, they would just stick in my brain, whereas this wasn't one of them. Otherwise, yeah, would have definitely thought more. Anyway, here we are. The Ghostbusters are planning to stay over at, I think, the kids' place, waiting for the boogeyman to strike. So I think the plan is for them to pose as kids, waiting for the boogeyman to strike. Ray is such a big kid. Yeah, he loves his little doll here. Look at him. Oh, Dopey Dog. Name of a. Because Ray's such a ham, they had to have him as the bait. So have him pose as the little kid with the Dopey Dog doll, and wait for the big man to strike, and then they come and try to capture him, as we can see here. It's hilarious. Oh, I have to mention, shout out to the late great Lorenzo Music, who I absolutely loved as Garfield, and I love his interpretation of Peter Venkman here. Anyway, here comes the boogeyman, right on schedule. Oh, that is just freakishly. It was almost like a horse, like a half horse demon kind of thing. There he is. Ray jumps into action, and here come the other Ghostbusters. Here they are going into action. Okay, full stream ahead, they say, and trying to drive the boogeyman back into the cupboard, the portal where he's come from. And just like that, they think, oh, they've got him, but not quite. Egon is just so insistent that they go after the boogeyman. Because he just wants to get rid of that fear he had as a child. They're in the boogeyman's dimension now, so they're flying all over the place, so everything's not normal. I think they're walking on the up and down the alley, not the alleyways, but the floor where the boogeyman stays. But basically, it's almost like where he's at. It's a dimension to all the doors in the world to go and terrorize them young kids. Oh, they found him now, and they're getting ready to do battle. Like I said, I love the voice acting in this, but because it's the 80s, the action isn't quite on par, I think, because obviously they were handcuffed, so they couldn't quite go as edgy. I mean, the tone in terms of how scary the ghost looked at times was fine, but they made tons of changes as the seasons went on. I get that's for another time. Yeah. Like I think I mentioned it in my Ghostbusters retrospective video. Anyway, the Ghostbusters are going after the boogeyman, and he's just gone into one of his portals, and the Ghostbusters are going right after him. It's another kid that there. They've just gone past. The background music in this as well is what made it, I think, in terms of what contributed to the overall feel of the show. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it feels very 80s, but it kind of it does stand up, I think, a little bit. Yeah, they're just falling over the place into another dimension. This is the bit that I remember as a kid, them sliding down this, I don't know if it's not a pole, sorry, my bad, but yeah, they're just sliding down in the area. Yeah, this is the bit that I remember. Like, certain bits when you watch as a kid, they just stick out, and then when you rewatch it as an adult, you're like, oh yes, I remember that bit. So here we are. Oh goodness, I'm about to get attacked by some snakes. So they're in the boogeyman's domain now. And the thing is, they can't use their particles to just easily blast him because they're on his terms now, so it's kind of different how they have to get rid of him now. Like I said, I probably should have done some recon just so that I could have some notes prepared. But no, it's all part of the experience in me doing this commentary, because you're just basically talking over it. You don't have to necessarily go with it, scene for scene. Yeah. As I'm growing as a content creator, I'm looking to do all kinds of things, not just video essays. So commentaries is one of them. So I am just following on an entire episode of a show that I grew up watching. Oh yes, I'm just listening to the bit where Egon says they need the ghost bomb because it's the only way that they can get rid of the boogeyman. Yeah, Egon is just absolutely determined to get rid of the boogeyman. Yeah, growing up, I mean, I didn't have access to the entire Ghostbusters run as a kid, obviously, because things were different back then. It was just VHS tapes, and you'd get a handful of them. Now they're releasing the full run on DVD or online. Yeah. So they're waiting for the boogeyman, so I think they've taken, one of the proton packs, which they're going to, I think, overload using the bomb. Oh, and there's the boogeyman coming straight from, look how ugly this thing is. The animators did a very good job of drawing some really scary, ugly looking monsters. Egon's trying to beat his childhood fears, going to face the Boogeyman face to face. Say, oh, you're not gonna scare me again like you did when I was a kid. Like it's incredible how Frank Welker does very well to go switch from Ray to the Boogeyman. The little kids that he terrorized at the beginning, now he's threatening them, saying, "Watch out, because I'm going to beat your heroes. There's nothing you can do about it." I gotta say, personally, I wasn't a fan of the little kids getting involved in shows like this, or even other shows like Ninja Turtles or Transformers. Cause like, no, keep the kiddies away. This is all about the heroes here. Anyway, the kids, I think they're about to throw some balls, and the Boogeyman's gonna trip all over them, if my memory serves me correctly. Just to distract him. Oh, there you go. Yep, and he trips over them, obviously. That's an ugly looking ghost now. So yeah, the whole plan was to overload their proton packs and use the ghost bombs to blow up the dimension that the Boogeyman's in, so he can't attack any more kids. And there we are. Here we are. Bomb's about to go off, and oh, here comes the kids. And none of the kids are the adults. They didn't believe it, now they see it. They saw the explosion. And what did they say? That was the Boogeyman going bye-bye, Pete says. Yep, and looks like they did their job. The portal is sealed so the Boogeyman can't come back. And the parents accept that they were wrong the first time, and they apologize to the Ghostbusters. So the kids are safe now. They don't have to worry about the Boogeyman now that he's been contained. We return to what I think is the final scene. The Ghostbusters are back at HQ, getting ready to unwind. There's like the Boogeyman is done now, so the kids don't have to ever worry about him ever again. So yeah. Oh, this is the joke. They think it's a Boogeyman, but it's just Slimer hiding behind the cupboard. Pete is mad and wants to get hold of him. That was always the gag. Slimer just loved winding up Pete all the time. It's funny, as time went on, Pete learned to trust Slimer a lot more. Anyway, I'm going to bring this commentary to an end now. If you were watching along, I hope you enjoyed it. If it's brought back some memories of what was an excellent cartoon show. So yeah, if you like what you saw, please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff that us YouTubers like to do. So that was episode 4 of Smonkface Commentaries. Hopefully I'll be looking to do some more in the near future. So until then, I thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. So take care guys, and I'll see you soon.